We're open to any suggestion as to how to sell more plants.
Yeah, and the method we're using here is Oasis. If you can discover a better way, let us know, because we might switch. But for right now, Oasis is the best way we know to propagate dahlias. And now we're gonna make a cutting. So here is a pot, a clump here that I have growing in a pot here, and the shoots are about three inches high, and that's the size that I like to use for cuttings. And 2.5 to 3 inches high, when they're ripe for cutting, for making cuttings. And I'm going to make a cutting here. I got a root tone here, and I'll take my knife and I'll dip it in my root tone. It kind of disinfects the knife. Some people use a torch to heat the blade to disinfect it. I just used a little root tone. And I'm going to take a cutting here, off here, and I'm going to take the cutting about 1/8 of an inch from above the tuber. And I got it off here. Now here I got it. Now I got some bottom leaves here I'm going to take off. You take these off. You can cut them off, or you can just pull them off. All right. There's a cutting. I'll dip it in the root tone, like this, and your Oasis, you want to submerge this in water for about 15 minutes, so it's thoroughly soaked before you put your cuttings in the Oasis. Now, what I like to do is I like to chase the hole with a 10-penny nail here. It kind of opens it up so you don't crush it when you push it down in the hole. I'm going to open these up. Okay. Now I've got my cutting here. I slide it in there, and you push it down in till it's nice and firm. Okay, there's my cutting, and it came from Nini Kazi, a popular dahlia in our club. And this is 311. All right, there's a date on there. It's in the Oasis, and I like to keep it in 15 days. It should start showing roots. As little as 11 days, you'll see roots beginning to form. But I like to keep it in the Oasis about 21 days. At the end of 21 days, this is what you can expect. This is a Tari Donadem. This is 21 days. And now this is a good root system, and this is ready to pot up. And I'm going to pot it up right now. Thank you. Here's a potting mix. Now, when I pot a plant, I like to keep my potting mix moistened before I don't plant it dry. This works out much better so that when you do water it, water don't go all over the place.
Yeah, where am I?
So
I take care of my cutting.
okay.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, Atari Majesty, right there. All right, there we got a pot. We got a plant. And you put this under fluorescent lights, and it'll start growing. And I don't have, well,
What do you want to see?
this is this is a plant. That's it. This will start growing. It's got a root system.
Yeah, this in a 1 month, this plant here should look like this or even bigger.
Okay. Okay, now, as it starts growing, if it starts to beanstalk on you, in other words, go straight up, don't hesitate to take out the center. That way it'll start throwing lateral shoots and stop going straight up. And you'll end up with a bush instead of, we're not growing corn. So don't be scared to take the top off and throw the lateral shoots. So now we have a plant. Let's see. Now, after we make a plant like that, what I like to do is mist it with, it's got a little bit of fertilizer in it, and give it a little giddy up here, and it helps it recover. Is there anyone that would like to make a cutting?
No, let's talk about that.
Pardon me?
Let's do that later. I got stuff to do.
Okay.
Let me just say a couple things. Frank's got some plants here. I've got some tubers here also that are ready to take cutting, and when we're finished, you come up here and we'll let you practice and you can take your own cuttings. Yes, Dan?
Can you just clarify where you make your cutting?
He
Did
said,
you say above the tuber?
yes, because you remember one thing. Additional plants will come from the little eyes that are right on the tuber. When you see, you can come up here and you'll see that stem of that plant. If you look down at the bottom of that stem, what you're going to see are anywhere from 1 to 4 little plantlets, little eyes around the base. That's where your new plants will come from. Otherwise, you're just on a one-to-one basis if you don't. So if you cut down into the tuber, you've wiped out the additional plantlets.
Yes, there's a basic point here. It seems like we're kind of starting in the middle, okay? We purchased some Kelvin floodlights, and there appears to be about 15 to 20 tubers here. Is this one tuber or 15 to 20 tubers?
15 to 20. One clump.
Okay, do you suggest we cut this apart
No.
before
No.
planting it?
No. And the reason I say no to that is you will notice in the fall, if you dig out your normal plants and you take your,
We actually did.
what you did, and you take that clump out, you could wind up with a clump that's quite large. Quite large. Okay.
What's the
And
warning?
that's easy to separate then into the individual tubers where you can try and contain an eye on each of the little crowns of that tuber. These are pot roots. These are grown by in a grower in this kind of pot. And so over the summer, those roots stay confined in the pot. So in the fall, it's easy to, in the spring rather, next year, it's easy to ship them when you've got a small little clump as opposed to the real big one. So what we suggest you do is take that small clump and pot it up and let the shoots grow and then do the cuttings.
Could you hold up, we're getting the oasis strips. Could you hold up an oasis strip?
Sure.
This will obviously.
No, that goes into a pot.
Okay,
You start with a pot.
okay.
The program started in the middle, didn't start at the beginning.
I know.
Where do you get that disinfectant at for your night? Where do you get the disinfectant at?
You mean the rotund?
Yeah.
Any garden?
Quiet, please.
Someone's got a question, can you hold on,
I
please?
have the same question that gentleman does. So I have a bunch of tubers that I dug out last fall. So now what do I do with those tubers to start?
Well, all right, that's what we said. You've got choices. Let me start at the beginning a little bit, and maybe that'll answer some of the questions. Yeah. What you would do is this. That the basic things, when you're starting this whole program from the clump of roots or a single root, what you need to start with is you need a tuber that will eventually, like a little clump, a little tuber here, 3 little tubers on this little clump here. You start with this, and you want to get that to grow into a plant. The way I do it, and you can do it 2 different ways. A is I just take an aluminum roasting pan and I fill this with a little bit of soilless mix. Okay? And then, where's that clump, Frank? Did you put it
Cheers,
away?
guys.
There.